Hey YouTubers and gamers, and yeah, I'm back. And today is a pickup video, and it's a nice, as always, a nice eclectic mix of various systems and a little bit of hardware. Let's start off with the hardware bits for now. For my Dreamcast from Retro Bit, I got the VGA cable. On the back of my Sony LCD screen, which also rotates because I've got it on a special stand now, it's got VGA input, which is obviously quite good for Dreamcast, and it's also got the special RCA input leads as well. I mistakenly thought that those RCA input cables would go into you know, like the left and right audio channel inputs on the TV, but they don't. You need to have a special adapter, and it goes into a single RCA type socket above the VGA, and you get perfect sound. So I was wondering why I wasn't getting any sound out of it, but you live and learn, don't you? But no, quite a good cable. I think it's about 8 or 9 quid. So it's nice to be able to play with Dreamcast on the LCD. Actually, I've still got the RGB SCART input as well for the Dreamcast, so if I want to play like games of CRT TV, I can do so. So yeah, got the choice. Got a controller. Quite a fan of Spyro Dragon, and for the Switch, PowerA brought out this really attractive controller. Look at the artwork on that. If you like Spyro the Dragon, I think there's a lot to like there. I think that's really good. I've got so many Nintendo Switch controllers, I don't think I'll get it out of the box, but there you go. Okay, I also got a little handheld. If I show you this, will anyone recognise it? It's a PowKiddy A19 little handheld controller. Handheld arcade device. It's a Pandora Mini one. I got this from AliExpress from actually the PowKiddy actual official store. So I recommend, if you want to get one of these, to go through that official store, because it was like £60 plus another £5 for a PowKiddy, you know, proper case really. So, but why not? I'll just turn this on. Obviously, there's loads of videos on this from YouTube, and there's different types of these handhelds too. This, you know, I wanted a Pandora one mainly because it's really got a nice, attractive interface. Let me just show you. I'll just wait for it to come on. It's got a good battery life. It's got weight to it. I was worried that this may feel like cheap plastic. It doesn't. It's got a good weight to it. The controls are first class as well. And even though it hasn't got any left-right triggers, to be honest, for the games that you're going to be using this for, you don't really need those. The buttons are perfectly good enough, and you can map the buttons too. And it's got cheats, so you can have turbo switches as well. Buttons mapped, cheats, like I said. Obviously it's got save states, but if you just look at the interface on there, you know, you can go up and down. I just thought it's really nice, and this came, you know, you get this with a 32GB card, and there's about, you know, 2,000 odd games or whatever already built in. My favourite are the arcade, obviously, Final Burnout and MAME. It does PSP and Sony, although I would say the results a bit hit and miss, and given the save state issue on those, which are a bit hit and miss, or PSP is a little bit choppy, so it's alright for some fighting games, but I wouldn't rely on this for a PSP plan. To be perfectly honest, you better get a better machine if you really want PSP, a more expensive one. But this is, like I said, £65, it's cheap as chips. And also with Sony, it was a bit hit and miss, especially with save states, and also with the Dreamcast emulation. That's not bad as well, but again, there's issues with saving on those as well, really. So those games, you know, if you're going to do PS1 and Dreamcast, it's best to do games that you don't have to save. So obviously, like Crash Bandicoot and the fighting games, more than anything else. But to be honest, all the other handhelds and everything else, it's fine. I would highly recommend it. You can't put your own ROMs on this, I would add. There is a store. You just press X, and it brings you to a store for interface. And, you know, to be honest, most of the games that you would want would be on that store, although they may be on a slightly different name to how you know them because of how the Chinese sort of translates on the English names. That, you know, some of the names can be a bit silly. Like Crash Bandicoot wasn't that, or some other. What was it? I don't know. Something about, you know, Crazy Dog or something it was. So some names aren't so intuitive, but I found most of the games on there. I've got a shit ton of shooters on here, all the good ones. I saved under my favourites, and they play absolutely fine. So just to give you an idea of what I've got under my favourites. Okay, I've got Violent Storm, Cosmic Cop, Wakey Wakey 7, Cyberlit, Bath, AQ Galley, Dungeons and Dragons, for both those games, Elemental Master, Ghostbusters, UN Squadron, UN Defence Force, Thunder Cross 2 and 1, Parodius Dark, All Dying, Mars Matrix, Insector X, Firestormer, Darius 2, Darius, Galamedes, Viva SOS, Earth Defence Force, so quite a few good cave shooters, Batsugan, Dimahoo, still Empire on the Mega Drive, King Kong Game Boy Advance game I like, Captain Avengers, Armed Police Back Rider, Arcadia, Air Attack, Dragon Blaze, X-Men vs Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs Street Fighter, Marvel vs Capcom, Zero Gunner 2, Cartoon Hero vs Capcom 2, that's obviously a wrong name, Turtle Dove, which is like Ikaruga, Dragon Gun, Image Fight, Wolfane, Gekkoenden, X Multiply, Gun and Frontier, Prehistoric R2, Star Soldier, Twinkle Star Sprites, Aero Fighters 3, Strikers 1945 2, Aero Fighters 2, Prehistoric R first one, Gunbird 2, 1945 K3, Strikers 1945 3, Visara 2, Hunt in the Sea, 1943 Battle Midway, Tengai, Progin, Dangan, Viveron, Dodonpachi Dar, Alien 3 with Gun, Aliens, Aliens vs Predator, Kingdom Grand Prix, Cotton, Hyper Duel, Visara 1, Saucer Striker, Samurai Aces, Strikers 1945, Raiden US version 2 and version 1, Raiden DX UK, Metal Black, Mayhew Daxuin, Gunbird first one, Giga Ring, Espaguda, Esperade, Aero Fighters, Air Galley, Donpachi, Deo, Battle Gregor, Battle Backade, Marvel Superheroes. And they're just my favourites, guys, I've got to say. And literally it's about 170 pages with about 15 on each game, on each one. So, and yeah, the gameplay on all those other systems, faultless, I would say. It's just and obviously you've got save states, and most of them you've got cheats as well. But you can download, like I said, other games off the Chinese store, which is, you know, it does the job. It's quite simple, and that's what I like about this. It's a nice, simple way of playing up handheld games. So it really is. It's cheap, £65. I know you can get your RGB 30s and stuff like that, which are about double the money. You get those, especially the metal ones, and they are better quality, those ones. But you do have to put your own ROMs on. And the way I was thinking is, this is a nice, lazy, attractive alternative, because I like the square screen, bigger screen, really good screen at all angles. It feels like a, you know, a bit like, you know, like a Game Boy in a way. It reminds me a little bit. I like the way it's laid out, and given that it's a Chinese device, I don't expect this to last 10 years. And even with RGB 30, you may be lucky to get 10 years out of those machines. So it's not like Sony and Nintendo. You're not going to get the, you know, longevity of a device. So I've always been reluctant to spend too much money on a Chinese device. You know what I mean? So, but that's that would do a job. And like I said, I do recommend this. It comes in other colours as well, white and yellow. But if you want a cheap little, handheld arcade machine, particularly a little Pandora Mini one, I do recommend that for money. £65, cheap as chips. It is good. Let's turn it off. And I tell you, I just got the Silent Hill arcade machine walkthrough on YouTube playing. If you're wondering what that strange noise is, that's one game I would like to play on emulation if it ever comes over at some point. Some point in the future. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Right, that was all the hardware and stuff. Let's turn to the games. On the DS, one point blank DS game. I decided to get all the point blanks. I already had the first point blank game, but I thought I'll get more, might as well. So on the Switch, Guns N' Mersey Rangers Edition. This is released by Pixel Heart, so it's one of their exclusives. This is number 664 out of 3,000. So yeah, a nice little one and gun type game. This is a shooting game. It's a bit, kind of a little bit smutty. Gun Pixies. Basically, you play a little pixie like fairy going around girls' bedrooms and shooting their underwear type areas with love hearts or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit of a smutty little shooter. This was cheap as chips in game.co.uk. It's like £20 in the store. And online, this goes for a lot more than that, elsewhere. So I thought, for that price, a little Switch shooter, why not? Even though it's a bit snutty. Okay, on a Dreamcast, I got a repro of Etsy, and it's one of the games that one of the last Scum VM games I didn't have, and that's it's Day of a Tentacle. So it's obviously you know, by Tim Schafer, and it's got Maniac Mansion on it too. So for $5, you know, a really decent printed colour reproduction disc and case for $5, including postage. Why not? Okie dokie. On the Saturn now. Saying, well, I thought you completed your Saturn. I did have completed my once on the Saturn, but there's one PAL game which I thought, oh, I got that on the PlayStation. Do I really need it on the Saturn as well? And I thought, oh, might as well, just, you know. And that's Crypt Killer Konami. I think the PlayStation port is actually probably superior to this one, but still, I got it. I think it was about the £25 mark. But no more UK Saturn games. I've got to focus now on just on getting those on my other systems. Although, even though I got repros, there's about 2 or 3 of the Japanese shooters I may get if I've got spare cash at some point, like Dodonpachi and Donpachi, because I'm going to get those on PlayStation original. But what? And I got those on Repo Saturn. But shall I get the original on Saturn? I'm thinking, oh, I don't know. I thought I might get those while they're reasonable prices before they end up being stupid prices, but we'll see. Okay, on the PlayStation 3, a couple of uncommon games. From the States, new and sealed, I got Borderlands Triple Pack, so it's got all 3 games plus all the DLC. This was released in the UK, but the UK ones, you know, they're really expensive, so I got a sealed American one for about £25 in postage, so yeah, if you see this cheap, guys, by all means pick it up in the UK, because it's not a common game. And from Australia, I got Test Drive Ferrari Racing Legends. I think Eddie Rollercord showed this on the Xbox 360, but I'm one of these people who, if the game's on the 360 or a PS3, I tend to opt for a PS3 version more than anything else, just the way I am, I suppose. I think it was because obviously PS3 region's free, isn't it? Whereas Xbox 360, it's a bit hit and miss what plays on different systems. But anyway, I know actually you can get a UK version of that on the 360, but it's quite expensive, so I'm quite happy to have the Australian copy of it on the PS3. On the 360, a couple of 360 games, you know, there's about 4 or 5 games left on my want list for a 360. One of them was Family Guy, Back to the Multiverse. I think that was about £7 or £8. I got this from a sort of small independent game shop when I was visiting family in Norwich. I can't remember what the shop's called now, but it's on Magdalen Road. It's a small little one, but nice little game shop it was. There wasn't a huge amount in there I wanted, but it was this and another game which I'll show you in a minute. So that was about £8, so yeah, I don't mind it, you know, supporting the little independent shops. And also, I got this off eBay. Again, I think this is about a £10 mark. It's Sega International Bar Jar 1000 World Championship Off-Road Racing. Bit of a long title. Yeah, again, a game that's rather uncommon. On the 360. And the other game I got from that little independent shop was PTO Pacific Theatre of Operations 4. Yeah, I think this was cheap. It was about £4 really. I think I've seen this for about £9 in CEX, and and that was incomplete when I saw the copy of that. So to get this complete for £4, definitely. I doubt I ever get to play it because it's one of those sort of strategy type games, battle ones, and I'm not really into those too much. Although I do play a few odd strategy games in the past, such as Lord of the Rings ones. But anyway, shall we do the PS4? Okay, I've got a bundle of PS4 games. On a VR, Doctor Who: The Edge of Time, and these other games. I mean, all these games were probably, well, not that one, that's more expensive, but most of these are about £15 mark. Yeah, all these were about the £15 mark. So that was that one. Terminator Resistance, doesn't look bad actually. Just Cause 4. Jump Force. Yeah, this is the one that's probably be harder to find, guys, in the future. So if you see this and you like all the anime type, Dragon Ball type characters and all those sort of anime. It's got Naruto and other characters in there. One Piece. What's it? One Piece Dragon. I can't remember what they call now. Other One Piece. Yeah, but it's got all those sort of characters in it. But fighting game. Those Who Remain. Bit of a horror game that comes with a digital comic and a few postcards. This one's. It reminds me of Stranger Things with the upside down type world type thing. You go into terms of, you can go into through voids into alternative dimensions of your reality or whatever. So it's a bit of a Stranger Things vibe going through it. If it's any good or not, I don't know. But again, I thought I'll pick that up while I see it. It may be an uncommon game in the future. Who knows? Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, the sequel to the first Yooka-Laylee game. And another horror, Blair Witch. I was never a fan of the movie, but I got off from a charity shop years back, the Blair Witch games on the PC. There's about 3 on there, I think there was. I've got a little compendium or whatever. So to get the game on the PS4, whether or not this is any good or not, I don't know. It's probably better than the actual movie, to be perfectly honest. Which doesn't say too much. But again, it's one of those games that you may not see too often in the future. But again, I thought for a £15 price, it's not too bad. And one game on the PS4 which I got, which I know a few other people have shown on YouTube, like Eddie Rollercore and Dylan, is I think Dylan's got it. I think Eddie said Dylan got it. But anyway, it's Varvaris. Yeah, obviously this is easily available on the Switch. Was brought out on the PS4 about a year ago, whenever it was, and yeah, I think collectors have been holding on to this game, so you don't see it too much in the wild. I think I'll probably pay between 25 and 30 for this just to get a new copy while I still could. I think this will definitely be a harder to get game in the future, guys. It's done by the same people who did Slain, so it's got that sort of run and gun type Castlevania edge to it, I suppose. But yeah. Right, on a Mega Drive. There's a handful of Mega Drive games I still want to get. Probably about 3 or 4. And then I'll be done. And I think 2 of those are going to be originals and probably another 2 repros. But this is an original. It's an uncommon shooting game called Trin Hawk. On a PC Engine, this has got some other name. God knows what it is on your PC Engine. But this is quite a tricky, hard shooter. But fortunately, because I've got my Mega Drive version, which I can plug into my Retro Freak, which has cheats as well as save states, it's more playable. Otherwise, this game is, really a hard shooting game. But again, it's nice to have a uncommon shooter on Mega Drive. Okay, PS1. Now, I thought I was nearly done on the PS1, and to be honest, I am much closer to being done now. There's probably about, I think I'll probably get 2 more UK games, and the rest will be about 14 Japanese games, and I'm done on the PS1. But basically, I decided to finish off a Point Blank collection. So, I've got coming off eBay's Point Blank 3, but I also got Point Blank 2 here. I've got a first Point Blank. most of the Gun Con games for PlayStation, all apart from Point Blank, I've got ones with copies with the box and the guns. But I haven't done that with Point Blank, mainly because they're so bloody expensive. And to be honest, it's not one of those games that I'm not a huge fan on it. Okay, it's sort of a haunted house theme of Point Blank, same sort of thing, but with ghosts. It's Ghoul Panic, done by the same people. Again, this has got a different name in the States. I think that Point Blank 2 was about the... I think I got for about £10 mark, and this was about 10 or 12 as well. So not bad prices, really. Okay, I've got a 3D type first-person perspective shooter, Nova Storm. This comes on multiple discs. I think it's 2-disc game. I got it for about £20, which I thought was quite a good price really for this game. Yeah, I don't think it's a fantastic shooter as I go compared to what else you can get on the PS1, but still worth picking up all the same. Okay, I think one good thing about watching eBay is sometimes you watch people's collections or pickups, and they come and pick up games you think, oh, I didn't know that was out, or that existed, and so even though it's bad in the sense it gets you to buy games you thought you didn't need, it just helps you make sure that your collection's more complete, I suppose, if you've got certain goals. And one of my sub-goals for PlayStation 1 was to get all the Disney games. And so I think I've got them all now. So this is one I didn't have, which is Disney's Peter Pan Adventures in Wonderland, or Neverland, whatever, sorry. I guess it's just an average little kiddie type game. Wasn't a lot of money, I think it was about £6, which is for a PlayStation game, it's a really good price to pay on eBay, isn't it? The days of getting PS1 games for 50p or £1, unless you're lucky in certain charity shops, are long and gone really. PlayStation's, it's all hit and miss what you pay on games, isn't it really? A game that's reasonably priced, I think I got this for about £8 or £9 mark, was recommended by Eddie Rollercore on his channel, which I didn't know this was a Contra type game called Assault. For £8 or £9 to have a Contra type game on the PlayStation 1, that's a bit of a no-brainer really, so I thought, yeah, I'll get that. And on someone's channel, they showed some Army Men PS1 games, which I didn't know existed. The Army Men games on the PlayStation, there was a shit ton of games. I think I got 7, and with these two, there's 9 in total. It shows how mad it was that they, on one IP and one intellectual property, they brought out so many games on a PlayStation. They must have been popular. So these two other games, which I did not have, are Army Men Omega Soldier and Team Assault. And again, obviously, I'm glad to say that these are quite cheap. They're about £6 price each. These other two games I got, I went for import versions. One, I don't know if it came on the PAL systems or not. I think if it did, it's really expensive, so I've gone for Japanese, because it was about £12 with shipping, and that's Philosoma. A much better shooter than the other one I showed you. And I got this game. I went for an American copy because it's a role-playing game, and obviously you don't want to get Japanese role-playing games, really, do you? Unless you speak Japanese. So I went for the American version. The PAL version I think goes for about £150 mark. It's really stupid money it is. I remember it was about £75 mark about 8 years ago, and I'm thinking it was a lot of money then. But anyway, so I decided to get the American copy. I got it for a good price. It was £28, and that is The Legend of Dragoon. Unfortunately, I got hit by customs and shipping, so that doubled the cost. Unfortunately, it went up to 60, but still 60 for this game. It's still a good price. Obviously it's all English, complete with manual. It is the greatest hits version, unfortunately, but then again, to be honest, on the American import systems, it was greatest hits all. I'm not too fussed, because they're not ugly like the PAL greatest hits. We haven't got the silver spines, they just got a little bit of green on the edge, so I think that's okay to go on the shelf. So yeah, so it's still 60 quid. I would have preferred if it was 30. You can't always pick and choose when you import games, can you guys? You get hit by the customs, you know, which is a real rip-off if you ask me, you know, especially when they almost double it by adding the handling charge. And these days, handling charge should be next to nothing if you think about it, you know, but it's just an excuse for them to ramp up the price in it and charge you more. Hey-ho. Okay, that's all my pickups for this month, guys. Yeah, I think I've done alright again. I've got coming in the post a few more hardware goodies to show you, which will be given obviously in the next video. And at some point, when I have finished my PAL PS1 collecting, I will do a collection list for my PAL PS1 games. For me to finish my Japanese PS1 collection, that's probably going to take another year, to be perfectly honest. So I'll hold off doing the imports on the PS1. But you know, there's some real gems there, of course. But I will do a PAL PS1 collection video, or videos, because given how many there is, in a not too distant future, guys. So hopefully you'll find that interesting. But until then, for everybody out there in the in the mad world we're in these days, keep safe, keep your chin up, and take care. Take care, guys. Bye.